Picture this. In just 30 seconds, you can transform your idea into beautiful masterpieces that leave your audience in awe.
My name is Ayodele Awi. I'm a career coach and the lead consultant at Career Drive Academy. Mindscape is not just knowledge, it is a community, a sanctuary for like-minded individuals who test for intellectual growth and crave meaningful connections. Within these sessions, you will find a network of passionate learners, mentors, and friends who would uplift and inspire you on this extraordinary journey. Join us at Mindscape, where the doors to unlimited possibilities swing open, where your mind will be liberated and where you will discover your untapped potential within. Together, we will reshape the boundaries of human potential, one mind at a time. And this is it. All right. So, can everyone see my screen? Can I have a
Yes, you can, sir.
All right, great.
Go.
Now, because I've got my journey set up before, you probably don't need to. I mean, I'm not doing that freshly. So if you haven't done it before, you can just set up an account. There's a paid version of it. You can upgrade that, but don't worry about that. If you want to have some basic understanding of how Journey works, you can come to the Get Started guide, and that gives you a guide on how to get started with using Journey. Please don't forget, for tools that you're always using, always find a way to bookmark them. So if I take you to my screen right here, other bookmarks, and I open, you can see the one I have here, which is called Writing Assistant. Now, for my Writing Assistant, these are the things that I use most frequently. You can see Deep Hell Write, which is also is a writing companion. This helps you to rephrase. So if you've got something written down, but you want it to sound very professional, you want it to sound very niche, you can go to Deep Hell Write, and then this can change your entire text to something very standard. I'll show you that later on. Paper Pal is also something you can use to edit your work. You don't need to pay an editor. You can edit an entire document with Paper Pal. Writing AI, that's the journey that we're just going to learn how to use now. Online summarizing tool is fantastic for people that have tons of books to read and you don't have the time to read all of them. Sotero is a research assistant that helps you to become really organized with your research work. That's Sotero, and you can keep your folders together. You can do references. Chat PDF is a document that it's something that helps you to interact with documents. So PDF documents, I'm going to also show that, and you can interact with them. You can query them. You can summarize PDFs for you. So I remember there was a day I was sharing with some of my colleagues in class. I had to make a presentation that morning in a course that I was doing, an optional module on climate policy, and the previous night I just spent the whole night working on something else, and I was really busy, and I was really tired. I was fagged out. I slept off. I woke up in the morning. I didn't have the time to prepare that slide. Then I got to class, and I remember that I'd been given some papers to read and to make presentation on them that very morning. So I got to class. Here I was in front of my colleagues, about to be embarrassed because at Oxford, you don't give an excuse. That's the point. So my lecturer was going to call me in another 10 minutes to make my presentation, and I haven't even looked at the paper. Chat PDF saved my life that day. So what I did was to quickly look for those documents, put them on Chat PDF. Chat PDF did the summary for me in less than 30 seconds or 1 minute. I put the summaries together, put them in Gamma.ai. Gamma.ai made the presentation for me in about 2-3 minutes. I looked at the presentation, I read it in 5 minutes. I was good to go with my presentation. So everything that should have taken my entire, maybe the entire day, the previous day for me, the entire day to read like 4 different papers and articles and be able to come up with something useful on them, I saved myself tons of time. Although this is not the best to do. And I must stress this part. So for some people, you want to make sure you don't have over reliance on AI tools, because what that does is that it makes you very lazy. AI cannot do the work for you. AI can simplify the process, but you have to understand it. And I'm going to talk to, when I start talking about ChatGPT, I'm going to tell you some of the advantages of still learning to do these things yourself and still taking your time to read and know what to do. Now, one of the challenges with AI too is that's why they call it artificial intelligence tools. It's intelligent, but it is going to be as intelligent as the owner makes it. So these tools are tools that can be taught. You have to teach it to become better. If you don't train your AI tools, your AI tool will give you something shabby like what every other person can get from it. The best way to make your AI give you the best is to, for yourself, become the best in that area. So you have to read materials, you have to study very deeply, you have to know how to query the AI tool. The more you learn how to query it better, the more you have better outcomes and better results from using it, okay? And an agent GPT is something you can give an assignment or a task to, and then agent GPT will just go and do that task for you and generate results for you. This is also something that helps you discover and create and publish research papers. It's called the Sci Space. And then this is Lateral Help. This is Clive, this is Glabs, this is AudioPen. I find AudioPen very useful because AudioPen, for some of you that have, what you do is talking and you don't have the time to save you don't have the time to start writing. So with AudioPen, you can actually record, you can start talking the way I'm talking now, and you can use AudioPen to just bring all of your thoughts together. It's going to convert your audio messages to text messages, and from there you can write a book or you can do whatever you want to do with that. This is Search Consensus. There is Evidence Hunt for clinical researchers. There is Search Smart that helps you to search precise documents. There is also Kick Resume. Just a moment. I think the sun is now becoming all right. Yeah, perfect. And there is the Chart GPT, and this one helps you to make beautiful charts. So you want to have a line graph, you want to have a bar chart of certain things, you can query it and it can develop that for you. All right, so let's come back to, so the reason I showed you this is because I said don't forget to always bookmark. It helps you to just go back to those things very easily. So these are my writing bookmarks. I've got tons of other bookmarks, and I'll see if I can just show you. All right, I think, okay, yeah, these are my bookmarks. Can somebody confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, Ayo.
All right, good. So on this bookmark, I've got so many of them that are very useful for me. I think one other super intelligence tool is this computational intelligence. It's called Wolfram Alpha. I think this is a cheat code. Nobody should have this. Nobody should have access to this. It can compute anything for you. It can tell you anything. You can train it. It can answer philosophy questions, social sciences questions, engineering, sciences, and whatever it is. It's a cheat code that nobody should actually have. I think it's completely illegal to have access to this computational intelligence too. I've got a couple of other things here. There is Trip Notes, which is an intelligent travel plan. So if you're traveling and you want to get ideas and knowledge about where you're going, find information about it or whatever it is, this is useful. This Crips is a noise cancellation tool. So if you do a lot of work that has to do with meetings or recordings and there are background noises, this can cancel that out for you and give you something very useful. And then the other things there. So I'll just go back to Jenny and show us a little bit of how to start. So let's start with a fresh document, okay? So I'll just go to new documents. Now, the first thing that Jenny will ask me is, what am I writing on today? You can give it any topic. And it says here, add more context for higher quality generation. And that's the whole thing. So you're able to, the more you understand what you're looking for, the more you are able to, use that to achieve results. So let's imagine that I want to write on something around, it could be anything. Can anybody give me an idea so that this is useful to you? I think somebody smart should just tell me something you are working on, so you can start building it from there. Anybody? But if you don't have anything, I can just say green industrial policy. industrial policy in Nigeria. So I can say the prospects for a green industrial policy in Nigeria. All right, so let's see, and I can tell Jenny start writing. So Jenny already has what I want to write, and you can see I'm not doing anything. Jenny has just said, in recent years, the concept of a green industrial policy has gained significant attention as countries around the world strive to combat climate change and promote sustainable development. If I love what it's saying, I can say accept. And then he writes the next sentence for me. If I don't like what Jenny has said, I can say, I want to see the alternative to this because I don't like that. And it tells you another thing. Nigeria, as a developing country with immense potential for economic growth and industrialization, has also recognized the importance of adopting a green industrial policy. And I can continue to accept. And before you know it, you can develop an entire document around this to get you started. There are a couple of things I've used it for, and you can see on my screen here some of the things that I've been able to think about and use it for. I think the role of social policy and things like that. So, but that's how Jenny works. Now, before I move from Jenny to something else, I'd like to just take a question from anyone. What do you think? Any questions?
Sorry, let me ask Ayo.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much. I'm just wondering, what's the difference between Jenny and ChatGPT? I feel like maybe they're giving this not really the same information, because this one is just aiding you in writing. It's like ChatGPT generates a whole sort of information. Maybe you can just help us understand.
Yeah.
Maybe when we get there.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. That's a beautiful question. So they are very similar in the way they work. The difference is that ChatGPT creates content for you. So if you need a content, ChatGPT, it's beautiful to just bring the content and give you that content. And for that content, you can say, oh, I like this, I don't like this, and this and that. What Jenny AI does is to give you bits and bits of pieces of information so that you can yourself put it together or rearrange those bits and pieces of information. As you can see, it was writing line by line here, and I could accept, ignore, change. I could do whatever I want to do with it line by line. So why this is great, it's also using the functionality of ChatGPT itself. And that was why I said when I started that ChatGPT is like the foundation for most of these things. So it uses the same method of ChatGPT, but this is essentially useful if you're having a writer's block. So for example, let's say that I'm writing a book and I've just got into a chapter on green industrial policy in Nigeria, and this chapter is giving me a lot of challenges. I could go to ChatGPT. ChatGPT could give me content, but the content might not be enough or might not be very tailored to what I want. It might not be following my line of thought. Then I can come to Jenny AI and I can start putting my thoughts together. Maybe I want it to talk about policies strictly. I don't need any information around. So I'm just going to show you this. Let's go to ChatGPT. And my ChatGPT is always on my screen here. You can log it in. And it asks if you have not logged in before, you can sign up. And if you've logged in before, you can go to your account and just continue. And so if I get to my ChatGPT and I go to a new chat, all right, if we go to a new chat, okay, I'm just going to lift this up there, and I says, write an article on green industrial policy in Nigeria. And I say, give me that. Now, what ChatGPT is going to do is to download, based on information it can find on the internet, download a couple of information for me. And this information can be useful if I'm looking for a quick summary. But if I'm writing a book, this is not what I'm going to put in my book. All right. This is very, what can I call it? It's like just peripheral information. It's very surface. So if I'm looking for something that is deeper than this, I can read this for a good start, but I can then go to Jenny AI to start really developing what I really want. And I can rearrange, I can ensure that my contents are aligned towards the goals of what I intend to write. Did that answer your question?
Very well, Ayo. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, okay. So people were putting some things in the chat box the other time. Sorry about that. I missed that. But thank you so much, God's gift. I see that he's been able to respond to many of the questions that we're having. Thank you. All right. So this is what ChatGPT does. I think one of the best ways to use ChatGPT is to find a way to, and I'm just going to, now that we're here, I'm just going to quickly talk about it. You can regenerate responses in ChatGPT. So if I'm not satisfied with what he has said, I can regenerate the response and it can give me something else. And that's it. And when I was talking about training your ChatGPT, is that the more you give it specific information about your context, your background. So for example, I'm in the space of environmental engineering and water resources engineering. And so if I'm putting any content or anything around that on my AI is going to give me better information. And the reason is because I've been training it to learn that language. If I was in the banking and finance sector, my AI would be trained differently. So sometimes when I do some work on my AI, you can find it different from someone who is using AI for a different thing, or ChatGPT for a different thing. Because the more you use it in certain areas, the better it gets. So it can produce better results for you. I think ChatGPT is a very common thing. I probably don't need to stress or worry too much about that. Let me go to Gamma. Or any question on ChatGPT before I leave it? Any questions? Okay, great. If there are no questions, like I said, one of the things, because of the diverse people we have.
Sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay,
I have a
go
question.
on. Yeah, go on, please.
All right, thank you very much. With these AI tools for maybe researchers who write articles and make publications in their writing, how can you manage these tools with plagiarism?
Okay. Great question. This sounds like a voice I know. Do you mind telling me who is behind this voice?
Okay. Actually, this is my first time of meeting you, sir. My name is Omogbenga Samson.
Oh, okay. All right. I actually thought it was one of my guests when I heard the voice. It sounds like the voice of someone I know. It's a professor at the University of Reading. So I actually thought that was it. All right, Benga Mogbengde. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, good question. How do we ensure we don't fall into the trap of plagiarism when using AI tools? Very important question. Now, one thing to bear in mind is that if you have the way I put this question, and I put it into ChatGPT, if many of us use ChatGPT this way, we're going to have very similar response. Now, the arrangement of the response would even be entirely the same in terms of giving you an introduction, giving you bullet points like this, giving you, giving you some key things, itemizing it. The arrangement, the structure of the article, and the conclusion, those things are they're going to be very, very similar. Which is why one of the things I tell people to avoid falling into the trap of plagiarism, learn to train your AI tool, understand what you want to do, and then find ways to do it by telling it not to give you an entire document, but telling it to give you something quite specific. So I'll give you an example. If I want to write on green industrial policy in Nigeria, what I would do is to first go and read about green industrial policy, find some things to read, get some knowledge, make some notes on my sticky notes, and then I can start talking about outlines. So one of the things I will do is I can come here and say, and usually I do this for my AI too. So for example, I'm just going to show us an example here. Okay, let me go to this, investing in green industrial policies, and I'm going to see if, okay, yeah. So look at this. Now, this was a time I was trying to write something, and I provided a context for my AI too. The Dangote refinery is an oil refinery owned by Aliko Dangote that was inaugurated on the 22nd of May 2023 in Lekki, Nigeria. When in full operation, it is expected to have the capacity to process 650,000 barrels per day of crude oil, making it the largest single train refinery in the world. There are three concerns I have about the implication of that on climate politics. Now, this is me telling the AI too that these are the concerns I have. What I have now told the AI to do is develop a newspaper article to emphasize the need for Nigeria to invest in green industrial policy, articulating the points above and highlighting the climate impact and global politics implications of the new Dangote refinery. I have not said, AI, what is green industrial policy? If I do that, AI is going to tell me, it's going to give me the same information that it will give everybody. But look at all this context I've given to my AI. Nobody is going to give the AI the same context that I've provided. And so by the time the AI gives me an information, you can be sure that this information is going to be very specific, very tailored, very different from what everybody is going to have. And so there's no risk of plagiarism at all in this, okay? There's no risk whatsoever. It will give me something very, very separate and something very, very unique, different from what everybody else has done. And so what other people also do sometimes is that even if you feel that there's a risk of plagiarism, then you can go to paraphrasing tool. And one of the paraphrasing tools I use a lot is called QBot. And I'm going to just copy QBot here into the chat box. But again, one of the things I must say now is that there are also tools now. There are new tools that can also dictate if you have used AI tools completely to deliver a work. So I always tell people, don't use AI tools for everything you want to do. Always make sure that, something is coming from you. So for example, the context I gave here, they are very specific to me, and it's also going to be something different. So let's say this climate crisis looms. I feel like there's a risk of this being plagiarized. I can go to a paraphrasing tool, and again, please bear in mind there's really no risk in this particular context, in this particular example, but I'm just saying, for example, I can copy this and go to my paraphrasing tool, and I can copy here and tell it to paraphrase this text for me. And what this is going to do is to give me something that is already paraphrased, and it is not exactly what is here. It's something paraphrased and it's a little bit different, and I can copy this and use it in my text. All right, but don't forget where I started from. Never rely too much on AI tools. It can be very, very dangerous. What you do is that the more you rely on it, the more you lose the confidence to even do anything on your own, and then it's going to tell. I imagine in 10 years time, people will be writing a lot of good things, a lot of good work, but can they defend it? That would be the question. Can you actually speak to what you've written down and defend it, and to show that that thing has come from the depth of your knowledge? Now, since we are talking about doing research and we don't want to do all these quick works, how exactly should you do a research? I'm going to go to that now. If you really want to do a research and you want to do very detailed work, then there is a fantastic research tool that is called elicit.org. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
I seem to be asking more questions than even you.
Please go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I hear with ChatGPT you can get references, but I have never used ChatGPT as much. I just signed in, I think 3 days ago. So let me know, how do you get the references?
Oh, fantastic. That's a good question. And one thing about us is I think that's one of the things that has helped us to really improve on the program, learning to ask a lot of questions. And so I'm not surprised, Winifred, that you're asking many questions. And I think I can just take this moment. Now it is 10 o'clock, but many of us joined really late. Can we agree if we want to do some minutes more before we wrap up? Before I go into that, can we agree how many people feel comfortable doing some more minutes? Please open your mic and tell me if you're comfortable that way.
I'm comfortable.
I am. Yeah,
I am.
Oh,
I
great.
am.
Yes, please.
Fantastic. I'm encouraged. So I'm going to show us.
Mr. AY.
Yes, please.
Okay, sorry. The question, I think the last question, I was actually going to ask too about getting a reference from the AI tools, right?
Yes.
That was the question. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, don't mind me, please.
That's okay.
Can we add to that reference citation as well? Is it possible?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you how to use AI to get references now, because I've done that a couple of times before. So I'm going to pause on Elicit. So what I'm going to do, I will extend the session by 30 more minutes. So we'll stop exactly 10:30. And before then, I'm just going to, there are a few more things I still want to show you. I want to show you Gamma, and I want to show you, so Gamma for presentations, and I want to show you now generating references. Okay. So there were some things I've done in the past that I've used generated references on them, and I'm just going to look for one of them. Okay, good. Let's see. One of the beautiful things to also do with AI too is that if you're struggling to understand a concept, I think you can come and just ask it for that concept. You can just say, you can tell it to just explain that thing to you, so that the moment it explains that thing to you, you are able to understand, at least have some basic understanding, for particularly for things that you're just struggling to understand. It can give you, okay, yeah. So this was a period I was doing a work. I was writing some documents, and one of the things I've just done here is that, and I'm going to go back to certain things to help you. Now, one thing about AI tools is the more you understand, the more you know, the more you understand what you're doing, the more you're able to use them. Let me go to the top and see where it started from. All right, so what happened here is that, I can close this, okay. Close this. I've read an article, and this is the link to the article. And the only thing I've just done for the AI is to say, give me the citation for this article. And I've put that article in inverted comma. There's inverted comma here. And it has told me the citation for the article you mentioned is this. But this citation is not useful for me, because maybe the work I've been doing is using a particular citation style. And for me, I use the APA 7th edition most times. And I just said, give me the APA citation style for this. And look at what it's going to do. This is the APA. So if I say, give me the APA citation for this article, it gives me this exactly. And so it's a fantastic tool for generating citation styles. The moment you understand what you want to do with the citation style, it's able to give it to you. All right. But like I said, if you really want to do the depth of research, you want to do quality work, I always tell people this is where you should start from. Elicit. Elicit is a research assistant. This is exactly what you need if what you're doing is research. Every other thing that we're doing is for you to do some quick, write-ups. So Jenny AI, Chat GPT, they're fantastic if you want to do an article. Just want to write a quick article, you want to write a blog post, you want to do, those very quick things that you can just quickly get up doing. But if you want to write a research paper, you want to do a detailed work that will show depth of, knowledge and research, what you need is elicit.org. And let me see. Okay, have I dropped that? Have I dropped that in the chat box before? Okay, I'm going to drop that again. Okay. Sorry, just a moment.
You've dropped that before.
Okay, great. So you can
no, you've not.
Okay. So I'm going to send it to you. You can help me post it as well to everyone. All right, let's move. So for Elicit, you also have to have an account, sign up, and then log in with your account. And as you can see, I've signed up already. It's saying I have an account and I can sign in with my Google. And it just goes to my Elicit. This is fantastic. I think anybody doing research work must learn how to use Elicit. You have to learn it. It's the best bet for you. So this is where you should start from if you want to do research work. And so before this one as well, I would also state something. I know I'm talking about many things already, and I really hope that we're picking many of these things, but I'm trying to also record the video so that we can come back to it later. One of the key things that you also need, particularly if you're doing research, because in research, you're expected to read a lot of literature, existing literature, organize those literature, and then be able to find your own research work, find a gap, and do something that can contribute to existing knowledge. That's what research is all about. One of the things I've found out for research is that you must learn to be super organized. You're dealing with volumes of books, articles, publications, and you need to find a way to be organized and save time. So there's something I always tell people. One thing that will save you in life when you're writing research is a tool that is called Everything. It's a search tool. It's called Everything. This is it. You need to download this search tool. And I say this because Everything search tool. Okay, I see that okay. Right. And the reason is because normally what you do when you're using your laptop, what you do is that you have a search bar in your laptop, and this search bar helps you to search whatever you're looking for, right? So if you have documents, if you have papers you want to search here. The challenge with this search box is that it only brings up documents that are easily identifiable, maybe based on the name you saved them with, or it brings you folders that are closely related to those names. The limitation of this search box is that you don't have the ability to look for certain, for example, imagine you have tons and tons of papers on your laptop. You don't have the time to be digging. Sometimes you just want a paper, and the only thing you can remember about that paper is that there is a phrase or a word inside that paper, and you want to be able to look for that paper. Or for example, I want to do something on green industrial policy, and I want to see everything I have on my laptop that is related to that, and I want to bring up all the documents related to what I want to work on. That's why you need Everything. So personally, when I want to work on my laptop, I don't start working if I don't have my Everything opened. It's the first thing I open, and this is how it works. This is it. It's the first thing that I open, because the moment I open everything and I come here to search, it can look for anything for me. So I always tell people, get this tool, download it, have it on your laptop, have it on your desktop. Always start with it. It helps you to find your objects, to find your materials, to find everything you're looking for. One beautiful thing about it is that it also has what is called OCR, optical character recognition. And I'm going to put that in the chat box. Anybody know what this means?
Good morning. I think it's used, at least I think I've used it before to, if I have a scanned PDF document that is not in text, I can use it to get out the text that is written in it.
Exactly. Thank you so much. What's your name, please?
My name is Chizurum.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you, Chizurum. That's exactly what it means. So, Chinozo Peter is raising up your hand. I'm not sure if that means you have a question and you want me to just take your question. Or maybe you left the hand there after a long time, so it's fine. I just noticed that and I wanted to mention it. Now, Chizoroma said exactly what OCR means. OCR means that because in PDF, the moment you have converted a PDF to maybe JPEG, or it's no longer the texts are no longer recognized because you've changed the format of that material, of that document, then it's difficult to search that document. But with optical character recognition, the tool is going to be able to identify the text within those things, even the text inside pictures. Now, the only thing is that those ones take some level of paying. So after paying for some things, you can find anything. But I mean, the free tools can still do fantastic jobs for you in terms of searching. So what you want to do is to have this, but I always tell people to make your life easier as well. Learn to file things properly. So if you're doing a research, create a library, create folders, and start developing your research. And that reminds me, maybe I will also be able to talk about Mendeley. But let's talk about everything now. So with everything, you come to this point, and I'm just looking for green industrial policy. And it shows me everything I have on green industrial policy, where I can start from. And I can go to this book or this particular document, and I can start from there. And so the good thing is you are able to organize yourself. You are able to search anything. If you are writing and you remember that something is somewhere, you can easily bring it up. Another thing that you always want to use is your sticky notes. Either you use sticky notes or you use OneNote. Both of them are fantastic. So sticky notes, you can create your sticky notes. You can have different sticky notes for different things. You can make sure that you save them in different color codes. And this just helps you to jot down your thoughts. So if you are reading the document, you can put your sticky note beside the document. So I can open this quickly. I can share file from there easily. And if I have that document and I'm starting to research or to read about that document, this is the document. I can bring up my sticky notes just beside it. And as I'm reading my document, I can take my notes very quickly. And this gives me the basic to even start. But how do I now apply elicits? Now, after having elicits, I can now say, what are the, let's say I'm already beginning to think about my question and I want to understand it better. I want to query it. I want to find existing work in the line of what I want to do. So I could say, what are the hindrances? And I don't want to start using the same thing. Let me see if anybody has put anything in the chat box before that I can use. Or a piece of work that is relevant to anyone else. Okay, somebody said, let me look for the first one. Nature-based solution to floods in the UK. Fantastic. No, battle-based. Okay. I don't know if that is a mistake. Olasukomi, is that a mistake or this is what you mean?
It's a mistake. It's nature-based solutions to flood in the UK.
I thought as much. nature-based solutions to floods in the UK. Can I change this to Nigeria because I love my country?
That's fine.
All right, let's search. So I just go to search. What happens is that this begins to look for every published paper, every paper that has been published that is relevant to my question or my topic. And it's going to bring all those paper titles on the left column, and it's going to give me the summary of the abstract on the right column. It takes a bit of time because it's looking for every existing paper. Now I'm beginning to have results. This is a paper by Fabi and Olukoyi on indigenous knowledge solution and local adaptation strategies to flooding in coastal rural communities in Nigeria. If I want to have a basic idea of what this paper is about, I just click on the abstract summary. And this is the abstract summary. So I can understand what these people have done quickly. If I feel like I want to ask a question about this paper, I can come to this. You can even ask, can I trust this paper? And it will tell you the study was qualitative. I can go and view the source. It says no mention of funding source. For those of us that are good with meta-analysis of paper, this is very useful for you. No mention found of participant counts, no mention found of multiple comparisons, no mention found of intent to treat. So for example, people that understand how to do impact evaluation when you're using RCT methods, randomized control trials for a research study, this is what it's saying here. So there was no intent to treat a group of people as maybe the treatment group as compared to the controlled group. No mention of found pre-registration. Possible critiques of the paper. So if you want to know if this paper has been critiqued by some people, if some people have said negative things about it, you can also find it. And people who have cited the paper in their work. And citations tell you how valid or how good, how the quality of the paper. You can see all those things here. And this is the summary. You can copy the summary. It also gives you the document identification number, which is the DOI. So this takes you directly to the document link, and it tells you how many citations that paper has. So the more the citation of a paper, the higher the quality. If a paper is very good, then the paper is well cited, particularly if the paper is an old paper. I mean, it also takes time for some works to get cited anyway. So for example, if I want to evaluate this paper, I look at the year. 2013 means that this paper was written 10 years ago, and in 10 years it has only gathered 34 citations. So that doesn't make it very good for me. So if I want to go back and look for papers with more citations, look at this one. This is a recent paper, not too recent, but at least 2017, 57 citations. This is 43 citations. Those are different things. Now, I can also now say, for some of this paper, what did they even look for? What did they measure in the paper? So I can come here and say, tell me, let me pick this nature-based solution. Or I can even go here and say, I want to also see interventions that these papers looked at. So if there's any information on a specific intervention, is going to come here. Interventions are most applicable in social sciences field. So for sometimes in sciences field, it doesn't really come up. So you can see that in all these papers, you don't have any intervention. But I can come to outcome measures and say, for each of this paper, let me see what was the outcome that was actually measured. So look at this one. This is a very recent paper, 2023, and you can see it has no citation. So this doesn't mean that this paper is bad. It just tells you that this paper is very new. And the title is Review Article, Potential of Nature-Based Solutions to Mitigate Hydrometeorological Risk in Sub-Saharan Africa. I like this paper so much. But the good thing is I already now see the outcomes that were measured. So this paper has a report on nature-based solutions in urban areas of Sub-Saharan Africa. It has nature-based practices identified for flood, extreme heat, and drought mitigation. It talks about ecosystem services that are provided by these nature-based solutions, and it also delved into the livelihood opportunities created by them. This other paper talks about likelihood of negative consequences, reliability of flood defense, and tolerability of risk. So any outcome I'm interested in measuring in my work, I can already see papers that have information on them. So let's say I want to have a look at the paper. I can just open this quickly. And this is the paper. And I can take my time to print this, read it very well, or just read it online here. And don't forget, I said the other time, you can also do quick reading. So if I want to do quick reading of the paper, or I want to see what the paper is just saying, I can come to one of the research tools I talked about the other time, Chat PDF. So this is Chat PDF, and this tells you to drop the PDF here. So I'll go back to this document. I'll save the PDF. One good practice is to always save documents with the proper name. Please learn this. Always save documents with the proper title. It makes life easy when you are looking for it. So I can come here and copy. Just a moment. I can come here and copy this title. And I can go back to save. Put in the title. And I can save on my desktop for now. And the document is saved. I can go back to my chat PDF. And I can go back to my desktop. I'm just looking for that same document that I've just saved. This is the document. I can copy it here. This is it. And what I want to do now is that, just a moment. Is to process this paper with my chat PDF. And look at what this is doing for me. It's going through the entire paper and it gives me the summary of that paper. It tells me the questions I can ask this paper. So I can say, what are some of the examples of nature-based solutions discussed in this paper? I can come here, put the question, and see what it's going to do for me. It's telling me, without having read this paper, that in table 1 in the article list, the article lists some earlier nature-based related concepts that sought to work with nature. The article also discusses various nature-based solutions such as this, that. The other thing I can ask is, how do these solutions compare to traditional engineering approaches in terms of effectiveness and cost? And this paper can give me responses to this in less than 5 seconds. I can say, what are the challenges and limitations to implementing nature-based solutions in sub-Saharan Africa? This paper gives me the information I'm looking for in 1 second. I can do this for hundreds of papers in just 1 day. And I can begin to understand the summary, the key things. And if you have other questions you want to ask, you have other things you want to query, you can think about it, as many questions as make sense, that is answered in the question and in the paper. This can do it for you. A similar tool to that is this one, Casper AI. But the difference is that for Chat PDF, you need that paper in PDF, and then you bring the PDF to it. In this other one, you do it with existing you do it with the web page. So let's say, for example, we are talking about nature-based solutions here. Let me say I go here now and I say this. Are there challenges? This is the last question I had. Now I'm trying to learn more about this last question that I ask on this platform. I'm trying to learn more about this. Challenges and limitations to implementing NBS in sub-Saharan Africa. So I've come here to look for this information. I can just find an interesting work. This is an interesting work from UKRI. I can open this work. And this is the work. This is what was okay. No, this looks like a funding opportunity. Let me look for a review article. Okay, this is a review article. Fantastic. Now this is a review article. Now this article, I may need to also quickly take information without necessarily downloading it. Maybe you're writing your paper, you just need something from somewhere. You don't need to download it again. You just want to quickly look at it. and you can use Casper AI. And I'm going to put this in the chat box. Thank you to Winnie, that's fine. Casper. So what I can do in Casper AI is to click Casper AI and tell it to summarize this page. Casper AI is generating results for me on how to summarize on the summary of this page, and I'll just give it a little bit of time and look at what it's doing. So Casper AI tells me what the entire document here is all about. Sorry, this one, drink water. And I can say if I'm looking for counter arguments, I can think of counter arguments. If there are people who have critiqued this work, it's going to look for those criticism, and it's going to give me what those criticisms are. Look at it. So somebody here said one major concern is the cost of implementing green infrastructure projects. While they may provide environmental benefits, they often require significant financial investments. This could be a challenge for governments and municipalities with limited budgets, especially in developing countries where resources are limited. Now, this tells me that as good as this work is, these are the limitations of what they are saying. And if I'm looking for more insights into what the document is about, I can click on Insights, and it will generate insights for me on what that document is about. And you can see it has given me 4 key things that the entire document is really about. And that's it here. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop here. I've said we have, so I noticed that the class, the people that joined, we have very different backgrounds from different areas. And I thought I would just make this very broad and touch on many things. But what I'll be doing henceforth is that if there is interest, I will then be picking specifically one particular tool for 30 minutes and then maybe dig deep into that particular tool, show you from the scratch to the final points, everything about that single tool, so that you can learn to use that one and use it excellently. And so we can be doing that once in a while as we have time. But I'm going to stop my screen sharing now, and I'm just going to take questions. And if there's anything I haven't touched on, please talk to me and let me know. Sorry, you can see that I'm looking up. I'm not looking at the screen. It's because I've got a desktop with a bigger screen in front of me, and so I'm putting my eyes on that more. All right, questions, feedback.
All right, thank you so much, bro. I came across this morning on my school group. I just joined, and I would say it's been very, very revealing. I've learned a lot. I'm actually working on some papers right now, and this will surely help me, and I look forward to joining more of your classes as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Was that Daramola, right?
Yes, Daramola.
Daramola, thank you so much. I'm really happy to hear that. Any other feedback or questions?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. This Falade. Yeah. Falade.
Oh yeah. I see.
Yeah, it's been a while, sir. Yeah, I'm actually at work. I joined a bit late, so just trying to take some notes and all. But I actually joined primarily for my wife. She's doing our work and our research work. So I don't know if number one, if you can get the video recording. I saw that I started recording at a point.
Yeah.
Then also, if you can just do a brief run through of the purpose of each of those apps you have on your bookmark that you opened the other time. So I was just trying to take the notes, but because I'm doing some other things, I could not. Just to know what each one is for and all of that. So it would help while we use. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Good to see you, Emmanuel. It's been a long time.
Yes, sir. Same here.
So I've just put my Instagram handle. Guys, follow me on Instagram, follow me on LinkedIn. All my social media You can just find me when you search for my name, Ayodele Awi. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to, like I said, this is just to let you know I've been on a break for about 9-10 months, doing very deep study myself, and I've just completed my program at the University of Oxford. So I'm back now, and I want to really impact knowledge, see how I can help a lot more people. So what I'm going to be doing is, from next week, I'll share my social media handles, the tools that I want to take. It's going to be for just 30 minutes, not this long, and I'll focus on one particular tool. I'll give you a brief outline of what that tool is used for, and if you're happy to join, you can join, and then we'll dig deep into it. So, but please don't forget, follow me on Instagram, on LinkedIn, Facebook, everywhere, and then post your questions to me. Just shoot me a mail or something, and we can talk more about that. Finally, before we go, I want us to take a quick picture together. So if you don't mind, please share your screen if you can. I want us to take a photo of this wonderful session together. And there's this tool that I'm just going to test now. I haven't used it before, but the tool helps us to take a group photo on online like this, on a Zoom call like this. So please share your screen, everybody. Let's take a group photo. I'm going to try it now, and I believe this is going to work. It's loading. Yeah, take photo, allow, fantastic, create group photo. Yeah, I'm going to see if that has worked for all of us, but let me see. So I'm going to put gallery. Yeah, I'm going to put gallery view, and I'm going to say retake. Yeah, okay. Allow. I'm not sure if it's taking just my view or everybody's view, but what I'm going to take again is I'm going to minimize. So I'm going to cancel this. Yeah, I'm going to screenshot this as well, and we also have it. While we're doing this, if there is any final word anybody wants to say, I will appreciate that. If there's any final thoughts or anything.
So, sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
How often do you do this?
So, to be honest with you, this is the first one I'm doing after a long time. I've been away for a long time, but I want to start doing this very regularly now. So, I'm out of all the stuff that kept me busy for the past 10 months, but I'm going to now take time to do this regularly. It could be once in a month or twice a month, but I'll give time to it now.
All right then.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Second is a question from here.
Yes, please.
Okay, please. For instance, I just got to know this from a platform this morning, and I was just 30 minutes late, and I felt I have missed a lot. Please, is there a way I don't know how the person that posted it on the platform got it, but what if by adventure the person that posted it is not chance to post subsequent meetings?
Yeah.
Please, is there a way we can be knowing directly?
Yes.
Like trying to suggest, although you've given us your Instagram name that we can use to search and dig deep, but sometimes it's much more better to be in the meeting.
Yes.
To ask live questions. So please, is there a way you can help on
yes,
getting us to know when
I'm doing this? Yes. Thank you, Taufik. So how you're going to know is to follow me on my social media. I'm going to share it on my social media. That's the best way. I understand that some people might miss out because they are not on some platforms. And so once you follow me on my social media, I'm going to put it on my social media, and that's the best way. So you have direct access, and that's the best way to get to know. Guys, before we go, I want us to please appreciate some people. I see they are online. Miriam, Wanto, these are some of my colleagues. They are fresh graduates from the University of Oxford after doing intensive work, post-study work. Miriam is from Canada, Wanto is from Liberia, and is currently in Nigeria, Lagos, having a swell time. Guys, can you just open your mic and say hello? So
thank you so much for this, Ayo. It's very eye-opening. I'm angry that this didn't come at the time of our exam. Like, can you imagine at the time of our exam, or maybe the time we're doing a DPhil application? Like, this is very helpful. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm planning on like looking at the recording, and I'll also be looking at another session because I'm trying to redo my DPhil application again. So
Great,
it'll be
great.
very helpful.
Great one too. Great one too. I'm sure that Harvard will be lucky to have you this time.
Hopefully.
And I hope you're enjoying your time in Lagos, right?
Oh, Lagos is so amazing. The food I've eaten yesterday, I had afa and fufu. Today I'm thinking about something new again.
Beautiful.
This place is very incredible.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I just have to take citizenship now.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, Miriam.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Ayo. I echo Wantu's words. This was super, super helpful. And even though it didn't come during the school year, it's fine. But even now, right now with my internship, I'm doing a lot of research, a lot of like literature review. So I think that this will significantly decrease the amount of time that I spend researching and reading papers, and will make the task a lot more effective. And I'm actually planning on sharing it with my mom as well. I'm just still discovering the extent of everything that AI tools can do, but even just like helping me with my cover letters or like my emails and all this kind of stuff, and I'm just realizing how much of a difference it can make. So thank you very much for this presentation.
Thank you so much. Good to hear that, Miriam. Good to have you on the call as well. And please, guys, can we please open our mics and just put a round of applause to these guys? They've done incredible work graduating. The grades came out yesterday. Congratulations. Thank you.
I wish you all the best in your endeavors, man.
Thank you. Don't forget to follow me. I'm dropping this and I'm dropping the call now. Thank you so much for joining. You can find me at Ayodele Awi on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Don't forget to follow and don't forget to just, keep in touch. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you again.
Very great.
And, you can follow me on Twitter as well. Follow me. Follow on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and Instagram, Facebook.
Or Facebook, sorry.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Wow, what a big class we had today. Thank you so much. It's been nice having you all on the call.